Hello, wine lovers! I'm Yaroslava, sommelier and wine educator, your guide on this journey through a world of wines, spirits, and cocktails. Viognier is a unique white grape variety that produces wines unlike any other. It demands great care from a winemaker and came close to the extinction by the 1970s before experiencing a revival and gaining popularity worldwide. Viognier is known for its high sugar content, low acidity, and exceptionally intense aroma. In skilled hands, it yields full-bodied, well-structured wines with vibrant floral and fruity aromas and pronounced minerality. Viogniers bouquet is highly complex and multi-layered, and it varies significantly depending on the terroir. The most characteristic aromas include peaches, nectarines, pears, mango, white flowers, honeysuckle, roses, and lavender. Interestingly, many people perceive completely dry Viognier as a sweet due to its intense aromatic profile. In terms of full profile, Viognier is truly one of a kind. Like Chardonnay, it produces rich, soft and oily wines, but unlike Chardonnay, which has little variantal aroma and primarily reflects the winemaking process, Viognier has a distinct and vivid bouquet. Aromatic varieties like Tarantès or Muscat also derive strong aromas, but lack the body and structure of Viognier. On the other hand, aromatic whites like Riesling and Gewürztraminer are more acidic. High quality Viognier wines are among the few noble wines that are typically not suitable for aging and are best enjoyed young. Viogniers' modern global spread originated from the northern Rhone, where it most closely associated with the Condrieu region. In Condrieu, winemaking is entirely focused on Viognier. It is the only permitted variety in the AOC, and the full-bodied aromatic wines from this area are a benchmark for white Rhone wines. The variety is ancient. Under the name Viognier, it was first mentioned alongside the Condrieu region in 1781 by Barthélemy Foch de Saint-Fond in his book Histoire naturelle de la Raffinée de Dauphiné. It is clear, however, that the grape was cultivated long before its first known written reference. The origins of Viognier remain unclear. It is believed to have originated from Dalmatia, modern-day Croatia, and was brought to the Rhone Valley by the Romans. Genetic analysis shows that Viognier is closely related to Pedanteza variety Freisa and is genetic cousin of Nebbiolo, which supports the Adriatic origin theory. The most probable legend suggests that Viognier was introduced to Gaul by Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius Probus in the late 3rd century AD. Probus is well known for restoring order to the Roman provinces, particularly Gaul, and for officially repairing a law introduced by Emperor Domitian in the 92 AD that banned viniculture in the provinces. Domitian wanted the provinces to grow grain rather than grapes to supply the empire with food. By the end of the 3rd century, the Roman legions were suffering more from a shortage of wine than bread. The repeal of 280 AD allowed vineyards to flourish again. Probus actively encouraged viniculture and even had soldiers work in the vineyards between the combats. It's entirely plausible that Viognier reached the Rhone under his influence. In this context, the theory that the name Viognier comes from the nearby city of Vienne, a major city in Roman Gaul, seems logical. Vienne became a key Roman stronghold in 121 AD and remained such for centuries. Viognier thrived in the Rhone for centuries, and its rich aromatic wines from Condrieu were highly valued. In the 18th century, these wines were popular in the wealthy markets of Paris and England. When the disaster struck, phylloxera ravaged France's vineyards, followed by 2 world wars that severely hampered recovery. The final blow came with the devastating frost of 1956. By 1965, Viognier has nearly vanished from the existence. Only about 8 hectares remained worldwide. However, Viognier was fortunate. As early as 1970s, Rhone winemakers began reviving the vineyards with Viognier platings. In addition to the Rhone, Languedoc also took interest and started cultivating the variety. The global wine community soon followed suit. Thanks to the efforts of the Rhone Rangers, the group of American winemakers dedicated to promoting Rhone varieties, Viognier made its way to California and eventually spread to other US states. In Virginia, it's even become the state's signature white grape. Other countries also embraced Viognier. Viognier is unusual and intriguing grape, but is also demanding and capricious. Not every region suits it, and not every winemaker is willing to take on the challenge. Interestingly, another legend about the grape's name suggests it's come from the Latin pronunciation of phrase via Inae, the road to a value inum, the more simply road to hell, a reference to the difficulties of working with variety. Viognier has the low yields, which discourages many growers for economic reasons. Moreover, it is susceptible to diseases and requires meticulous care. The variety only reaches its full aromatic potential when the vines are at least 15-20 years old. Viognier needs a warm climate to ripen fully. If picked too early, the grapes lack aromatic compounds, resulting in flat, characteristicless wine with an unpleasant herbal note. But in climates that are too hot, Viogner's aroma fades and the wine again becomes dull. Additionally, high temperatures can cause excessive sugar accumulation, resulting in wines with overpowering alcohol. The high alcohol, combined with the variety's natural low acidity and faint aromas, can create an unbalanced and heavy wine. Timing the harvest is therefore critical. Grapes must be picked at full ripeness, but not left on the vine too long afterwards, to avoid over-sugaring and excessive alcohol. That's why, in hot and dry years that speed up sugar accumulation, producers in Condrieu and Châteaubriand often opt to make sweet wine instead, which helps mitigate the alcohol issue. As a result, Viognier wines come in many styles: dry, sweet, often from late harvest grapes, and even sparkling. Full-bodied and well-structured, Viognier lends itself well to techniques like malolactic fermentation and dematuration. However, oak, especially new oak, must be used with caution, as its strong influence can easily overpower Viogner's delicate aroma. The wine is most commonly aged in neutral materials, though some winemakers have successfully used a limited amount of oak, which adds vanilla note and greater structure. In such cases, oak aging also enhances the wine's potential to the longer maturation. Because of its natural low acidity, Viognier does not greatly age it well. Its optimal drinking window is typically within 0 to 3 years, although wines from the old vines and later harvest grapes may last a bit longer. Certain winemaking techniques can also modestly enhance the aging potential. Geography also has some influence. On average, American and Australian Viognier have slightly greater aging potential than their French counterparts. Viogner's distinctive floral aromas come primarily from the higher level of terpenoids, especially Nalol, lavender scent, Geraniol, and Merlot, both rose-scented. Because these compounds are mostly concentrated in the grape skins, winemakers often use ensured skin contact maceration before fermentation to enhance floral character. The fruity elements on Viogner's aroma result mainly from the esters formed during fermentation: ethyl hexanate apple, ethyl octanate peach, and ethyl decanate pear. Of course, this association is a simplified way to describe each compound's contribution, just to give a general idea. Most Viognier is still grown in France. It is an exclusive variety cultivated in the Auge Condrieu and its tiny enclave Auge Châteaubriand, both located on the west bank of Rhône, about 40 kilometers south of Lyon. Naturally, only pure Viognier wines are produced in these appellations. Interestingly, Condrieu appears to use a different clone of Viognier than what is planted on the other parts of France or the world. This clone yields fewer and smaller berries, which intensify the wine's aroma, but of course also increases its price. Until the mid-20th century, Condrieu produced mostly of dry to sweet wines. Today, following the modest taste trend, the region now focuses primarily on dry style. Sweet wines are still made, but typically from the late harvest grapes dried on the vine. These grapes are harvested in multiple passes as they reach optimal ripeness. Wines from such harvested are labeled Sélection de Grain Noble. Dry Condrieu wine are typically full-bodied. Oak uses in minimal, although some winemakers employ malolactic fermentation. Elsewhere in the Rhône, Viognier is grown not for single variantal wines, but as a part of traditional Rhône white blends alongside Roussanne and Marsanne, sometimes with the addition of Grenache Blanc and Rauch. However, in recent years, some producers have begun making pure Viognier wines in the AGP category. In neighboring Côte-Rôtie, a red wine appellation, Viognier is co-fermented with Syrah. Up to 20% Viognier is legally allowed in these blends, though most producers use only 2 to 5% Viognier, helps stabilize the color of Syrah and its aromatic complexity. Outside its own homeland, the largest planting of Viognier in France is now found in Languedoc, where it is used both for pure oriental wines and the white IGP blends. The warm southern climate suits Viognier. Full wines can sometimes reach alcohol levels so high they create an imbalance, even if aromatic intensity remains. Thanks to the efforts of Ron Reicher, the United States now ranks second after France in Viognier production. It is grown mostly widely in California, where winemakers produces both single oriental wines and blends with Chardonnay, Chenin Blanc and Colombard. California Viognier tends to be high in alcohol and not always well balanced. Washington State also grows a significant amount of Viognier, where it performs very well both in its own and in Rhone-style blends with Roussanne, Marsanne and Syrah. In Australia, the largest Viognier producers is Yalumba, one of the country's oldest wineries, known for its high-quality wines, where Viognier vineyards are located in the Eden Valley. New Zealand, Italy, South Africa, Israel, Chile, Argentina, and several other countries also grow Viognier in small quantities. And practical stuff. Like other highly aromatic varieties, Viognier shouldn't be served too cold, as low temperature mute the aroma. The optimal serving temperature is between 10-15 degrees centigrade, 50-55 Fahrenheit. Viognier pairs well with white meats, fatty fish, and aromatic herbs such as basil and tarragon. It also complements spicy cuisine like Thai food. Today I have Viognier from Benjamin Darnaud, Côte d'Or, Languedoc, France. Let's try. This one for you, this one for me. White flowers, ripe apricot, intense aroma. Full-bodied, creamy. Lactic fermentation definitely feels. Unoaked. Rich taste. Besides apricot and flowers, orange zest and Provence herbs. Nice aftertaste. Nice Languedoc Viognier. Stay with me. Subscribe to my channel. Feel free to ask questions and don't hesitate to support me. Santé!